back with the wonderful Dr. Linda Moore, who is a psychologist here in Kansas City, Missouri, and speaks all over the United States and probably elsewhere that I don't know of. And we are going to talk about midlife, aging, and grieving the loss of our youth and how to move forward with confidence and pride. So, as women age in a youth-based society, what do you recommend? What do your clients come to you and ask? Just share.
I don't think you can ask a harder question. I think
That's a whole mouthful, wasn't it?
I think it's such a tough thing, and you have it framed correctly. It is the cultural evaluation of aging women that you can't not run into it. So women who don't face some kind of grief process or some kind of mild depression or challenges of some sort about aging are not out and about enough or aren't looking at enough magazines or
Or they're
TV
Amish.
shows. Yeah, that's very good, yes.
Right.
So it's everywhere you go. And people ask you the strangest questions. For example, because I am obviously aging, people say to me all the time, when are you going to retire? And I have no interest in retiring. I love what I do. But there's even an assumption that with age you're going to stop doing what you
Right.
do and go into what? Hibernation, hiding, go live in Florida and stare at the water. I don't understand the attitude.
Yeah, there's all these buckets of expectations on womanhood. You're
Yes.
going to get married, you're going to have children, you're going to work, you're going to retire, you're going to go to the nursing home. And if you don't do those things, then something's wrong with you in that order.
Yes. Well, the kinds of questions women ask range broadly from, I have a client right now who said to me, I'm seeing somebody who's much younger than I am. Do you think that's a bad thing? And, my response is there aren't bad, good, up, down, right and wrong. There's just you and what works for you. And if you can embrace who you are, regardless of what's going on, then everything changes. Now, if you have physical problems, that's a very different thing. So the main thing I encourage women to do is take care of themselves physically, their health, their exercise, their nutrition. Everything they're putting in their body should be something that helps them to look the way they want to look, to feel the way they want to feel. So that's number one. If you do that as your baseline, it's going to make you feel more energetic and more as if you can handle whatever comes your direction. But the issue is, it's going to happen. You are going to age. And if you're going to go through that gracefully, it means you have to accept who you are rather than looking externally for the acceptance, because it's not out there.
I went to a concert with two girlfriends who are also in midlife earlier this month, and I love that my friend Dana has such a positive attitude about aging. We were standing in a wait line to get into the midline, and there was a photographer who was obviously getting paid to snap photos of people as they go in, give his business card, and then you can go online and buy the picture. When he came to us, Dana said, yes, of course you can have my picture, and here's my card where I will be sending you my bill. So she reversed it on him, and it was just wonderful because she just was having fun with it. But a lot of women don't have fun with aging, and they feel like it's all over. So
that's the best thing, though, that is having a sense of humor about it, if you can do whatever it is. Well, what I encourage people to do with any kind of problem, but especially with something like this, is make a list of all the things you do like about yourself. All the things you feel good about, from a physical perspective, from an intellectual, emotional, spiritual. What do you like about yourself, and what do you value, about what goes on in your life? And then every day, I think people everywhere should start the day by identifying at least 5 things for which you are grateful. And if it's one of those just awful days and the only thing you're grateful for is this cup of coffee is hot, then you write that down.
Yes.
You try to frame something that makes you kind of move in that positive direction. But as long as we live in a culture that does not value aging in women in the way it does in men, most of us are going to bump into, with some regularity, a feeling about it. And people have started asking me how old I am, and so I do have a little bit of a lip, and but I also like to think I'm very funny, and so I say things like, "Does your mother know you ask rude questions like that?" Anything.
Great comeback.
Anything. It's like saying, "What? Why would you ask that?" And here's the other thing that I think is important. I think that one of the worst things that happens to women professionally as they age is that a particular age attached to you causes you to lose some credibility. And so
Nicely said.
that begins to cause my mind to be a little careful about whether or not I tell someone my age. I've quit doing it not because of my issues about it, but by the way I see it impact other people. And I'm not going to lose credibility in terms of my knowledge base or my work because this jerk has a misperception of what you do or do not know based on your age.